I don't know if any of you heard Biden's speech just before he was elected, before he was made president. Because he didn't end up in that position because he did quite a, they wanted somebody to do a job similar to what they brought in Barack Obama to do. The U.S. as a viable entity, a state, is falling apart. And those people who have the wealth thought they would need somebody with Biden's ability to slow the rate at which America was falling apart. America, when he was talking to, he went all over the country talking to everybody. But he said something specific to black people in America that I hope you go search for it and find it. He made a speech saying that by, I think it was 2040 or 2050, America is going to be a majority Hispanic population. Caucasians were no longer going to be the highest percentage of the population. It shook up black people, you know. Why would he say that? But that was a fact. He was just telling them what was about to happen. Black people, as always, don't listen. They wanted him to say, we're gonna share power with black people. Not Hispanics gonna take power from us. Caucasians and black people are gonna be on the bottom. Those of you who saw it, you comprehend now why between 10 and 15 million immigrants entered the U.S. in the last 3.5 years. And they need those people in the U.S. because even though the U.S. imports so many immigrants, they weren't enough and coming fast enough, especially after the Fauci, to keep the birth rate from going too low. One of the things that Hispanics are going to do is they're going to get married to Caucasian people because they wanted to move into the Caucasian group. That's one of the reasons why they don't call themselves black or Negro, rather Hispanic. Lighter skin, straighter hair. So that's going to keep Caucasians in power a little bit longer. But eventually the language is going to change. Other reason is, besides the population, well, it's also part of the population problem. Taxes. And specifically Social Security and Medicare and stuff like that, that when the older population retire, if you don't have enough people to supplement them, they're going to lose their Social Security, medical care, and everything else. And those who are born after World War II are now, most of them, I mean, even afraid to retire. They're 70s and 80 years old and still trying to work because they're afraid of dying with some illness and not being able to go to the doctor. They're afraid of not having something to eat because their Social Security is not paying them enough to eat. And even today, $4,000 a month. Most Social Security members get about $2,000. But you need $4,000 just to survive. Just to buy cat food. As a lot of retirees do. Because your rent is almost $2,000 out of that $4,000, and then the food and medical care takes up the rest if you buy medical insurance. If you don't buy medical insurance, you can't afford the doctor bills. So that's why you're seeing all the immigrants coming. And some people call them illegal. But long ago, the government changed that status. And you see all over America, governments are being destabilized. All over the Americas and the rest of the world, governments are being stabilized. So these people can come in to a U.S. under the banner of the government will kill me if I go back home. That's all you have to say when you come in. The government, if I go back home, I'm going to die in this country because, not for economic reasons, but because I don't like the government's way of doing things. Venezuela, look at Venezuela. That's a good example of what happened. And guess who destabilized Venezuela? The Europeans did it in Africa. They started all kinds of wars to get young Africans to leave Africa. Age group 25 to 45 years. I've talked about that. So all these people are moving to America to supplement the population that's in decline. So don't get angry now. You were told. Biden told you. Biden told you. You gotta listen to what's going on around you. You might leave Africa and have to go back home one day because Africa is going to get bad. The same way you left America to go to Africa, you weren't prepared for what you're going to find in Africa. When things get hard, you got to go back to America and compete with the same people that Biden warned you were coming. Anyway, hopefully you're going to start paying attention now. Don't get upset. Learn how to deal with it. Peace.